Hello, beta. Good evening, everyone. So, in today's class, we will go ahead and begin with the chapter on externalities. This is going to be Unit 4 of Intermediate Microeconomics. Right, beta? Okay. Now, to begin with, let us try to understand what is the meaning of externality. Externality का क्या मतलब है? सबसे पहले हमें ये समझने की कोशिश करनी है. Externality basically is how one agent impacts any other agent without it being reflected in the market. So, for example, let's say I am smoking, right? It is causing an effect on your health also, but it is not being accounted in the market. You're not asking any fine from me. I am not paying you anything for your health. That is an externality. Let's say the typical example that we give, imagine that there are two firms, right? There is a firm called upstream firm. So here I have this upstream firm and here I have this fish catching firm. This upstream firm is causing some level of pollution and it is putting all its waste into the river. The waste is going in the river. And because of this waste in the river, this downstream firm, this is getting affected because the fish, some of the fish are dying because of this waste in the river, right? But this upstream firm is not paying downstream firm. Nothing is getting paid to him. So this is an example of negative externality. This upstream firm is affecting the downstream firm negatively, but this is not getting reflected through the market forces. It's not getting reflected through the market. So this is called as externality. It is an example of externality. So try to read it out better. The effect that the action of an agent has on the welfare of another agent. जब एक एजेंट के एक्शन से दूसरे एजेंट को फर्क पड़ता है बियॉन्ड द इफेक्ट ट्रांसमिटेड थ्रू द प्राइजेस, बट ये मार्केट में नहीं दिख रहा. दिस इज नॉट गेटिंग ट्रांसमिटेड थ्रू द प्राइजेस. दिस इज नॉट गेटिंग रिफ्लेक्टेड थ्रू द मार्केट फोर्सेस. दिस इज नॉट गेटिंग रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द मार्केट. इसने रिवर पॉल्यूट किया, इससे इसको फर्क पड़ रहा है, but nobody is paying anybody. There is no market mechanism to account these things. Then this is an example of externality, right? So read it out, beta. The effect that action of one agent, जब एक agent के action से has on the welfare of other agent, दूसरे agent के welfare को फर्क पड़ता है beyond the effect transmitted by change in price. बट ये चीज प्राइस में अफेक्ट नहीं हो रही है, प्राइस में शो नहीं हो रही है, then we go ahead and we call that as externality. Okay, now take this example number 1. In this example 1, we are going ahead and we are saying firms pollution of river used by fishing firm downstream. मैंने ये example आपको समझा दिया. Come to the second example, beta. Driver entering highway at peak hour, which increases the driving time of all individual. ये थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. So try to understand that. Suppose there is a lot of traffic on the road. Now in that traffic, when you take your car out on the road, you are increasing the traffic. So you are affecting other people negatively. So when you affect other people negatively through their consumption pattern, that is known as consumption externality. जब consumer को affect करता है negatively, that is consumption externality. And when producer is affecting producer negatively, that is negative production externality, right? तो क्या कर सकते हैं ना, we can make a graph better. So we can say that externality can be of two types. It can be negative. It can be positive. In negative externality, one individual is affecting the other individual negatively. But it is not accounted in the market. In positive externality, one individual is affecting the other individual positively, but it is not accounted in the market. Negative externality can be of two types: production, consumption. And positive externality can also be of two types: production, consumption. Now, एग्जाम्पल ऑफ प्रोडक्शन नेगेटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटी हो गया वो अपस्ट्रीम डाउनस्ट्रीम वाला रिवर. प्रोड्यूसर्स हैं, एक प्रोड्यूसर रिवर को पॉल्यूट कर रहा है, उससे दूसरे को फर्क पड़ रहा है. इट इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ नेगेटिव प्रोडक्शन एक्सटर्नैलिटी. One is polluting the river, the other is getting affected negatively, negative production. The example of negative consumption externality can be smoking. One friend is smoking and the other health is getting affected. So from the consumption of one person, the other person is getting affected. Negative consumption externality. Then we have positive production externality. Iska ek example samjho. Imagine there is a firm here. This firm goes ahead and it has a business of flowers. Right? There is another firm here. This firm has a business of honey. Now for honey, this firm requires bees. And bees require nectar. And for that, they need to go to the flowers. So because of this firm is able to get good quality of honey. This is a positive production externality. Right? Then beta, we have positive consumption externality. Imagine when you educate yourself, when you increase the level of your education, it is going to go ahead and affect your nation positively because you will be a better citizen. You will be a better voter, right? So your education is affecting other people because now you will be a better citizen. You will be a better voter, right? You will be a more informed voter now, right? So we can say that that is an example of positive consumption externality. Kiska example ho gaya bache? Positive consumption externality. Am I clear with it? Are these examples clear? Okay, so take this example of negative consumption externality. Dekho beta dhyan se. Roommate streaming online which lowers speed for other roommates. So when one person is watching something online, then the speed for other people may lower up, right? That is an example of negative consumption externality. Okay, now just try to see better. Suppose I ask you a simple question. Ki imagine beta that there are 3 firms in the market, right? I tell you there are 3 firms in the market. They are selling some product. Now I tell you that a new firm enters the market, due to which there is more competition in the market, due to which these existing firms, they have to lower the price of their product. समझे? मैं कह रही हूं अभी तक 3 firms थे market में, वो एक product बेच रहे थे. अब एक नया firm market में enter करता है, और जब ये नया firm market में enter करता है ना, तो इन 3 firms को competition ज्यादा face करना पड़ता है, जिसकी वजह से उनको अपने प्रोडक्ट के प्राइस को घटाना पड़ रहा है. दे हैव टू लोअर द प्राइस ऑफ देयर प्रोडक्ट. तो माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज दिस एग्जाम्पल ऑफ नेगेटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटी? क्या हम बोल सकते हैं दैट दीज 3 फर्म्स आर गेटिंग नेगेटिवली अफेक्टेड from the coming of this new firm, and therefore this is an example of negative externality? The answer is no. Why? Why is it no? Because when you go ahead and you say that there is more competition in the market, जब हम ऐसा बोलते हैं कि इन firms की वजह से competition बढ़ रहा है एक नए firm के आने से, and this is reflected through prices, then beta it is coming through market mechanism ना. Market is involved, right? तो जब एक नया firm आया, तो ऐसा रहा होगा कि शायद अभी तक एक डिमांड और सप्लाई रही होगी, एंड विद द कमिंग ऑफ न्यू फर्म द सप्लाई वुड हैव इंक्रीज्ड एंड द प्राइस ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट वुड हैव डिक्रीज्ड. But this is reflected through the market mechanism, na? It is reflected through prices, right? So this is not an example of externality. यहाँ पर negative externality involved नहीं है. It is not an example of externality, right? So we can say that decrease in the price of good when other firm enters is not an externality, as it is transmitted through the price mechanism. क्योंकि ये मार्केट और प्राइजेस के थ्रू ट्रांसमिट हो रहा है, therefore we can say that it is not an example of externality. Am I clear? Okay. Now, beta, these are some examples of positive externality. So the first example of positive externality will be when during COVID, people were vaccinating themselves. So when I was vaccinating myself, it means that there are less chances of me getting COVID. If I have less chance of getting COVID, there is less chance I will go ahead and I will spread COVID also. So I am going ahead and I am helping other individuals also positively, क्योंकि अब मैं कम COVID spread कर पाऊंगी, right? So that is a positive externality. Similarly, imagine that बेटा I did some R&D. मैंने किसी एक चीज पे बहुत ज्यादा रिसर्च की है. And after doing research, after doing R&D, what I did not patent it. मैंने उस पे patent right नहीं लिया. I just kept it openly for everyone to use. Then I am creating a positive externality. I am helping others use a better technology, right? So this is an example of positive externality. So these two examples are given here, beta. Individual choosing to vaccinate to help other individuals. Unpatented R&D by university, which can be used by other firms or research centers, right? Okay, beta. Now, let us talk first of all about unregulated equilibrium. तो बेटा unregulated equilibrium का क्या मतलब है? By unregulated equilibrium, it means that we and we need to find such an equilibrium. हमें एक ऐसा equilibrium निकालना है where we don't consider externality at all. तो usually अगर मैं किसी भी एक फर्म की बात करूं तो वो फर्म क्या करेगी, चाहे वो कोई भी फर्म हो, वो पॉल्यूशन कर रही हो या ना कर रही हो, कोई भी फर्म क्या करेगी मार्केट में, दैट फर्म विल ट्राई टू गो अहेड एंड मैक्सिमाइज इट्स प्रॉफिट्स. किसी भी फर्म का एक काम ये रहेगा दैट इट विल गो अहेड एंड मैक्सिमाइज इट्स प्रॉफिट. सो वेदर आई एम कॉजिंग सम पॉल्यूशन और नॉट, चाहे मैं पॉल्यूशन कॉज कर रही हूं या नहीं कर रही हूं, one aim I have is to maximize the profits. Now, suppose I tell you that I am ignoring the pollution I am causing. So take this example. Let's say that there is this firm and this firm is a monopoly firm. क्यों मैंने monopoly क्यों लिया? Because I want to take someone who is a price maker, right? So let us imagine that there is this firm whose demand equation is given as P is equal to 10 minus Q. And imagine that the firm's cost equation is given as 2Q. And I ask you, okay, but how much quantity will this firm produce? So, bhul jao. No externality, nothing. Just answer the simple question. How much quantity will this firm produce? तो आप बोलोगे कि मैम simple. This firm will always want to maximize its profit. Profit can be written as total revenue minus total cost. Total revenue can be written as price into quantity minus total cost. Price will be 10 minus Q into Q minus 2Q. This will be 10Q minus Q square minus 2Q. So the aim of this firm will be to go ahead and maximize its profit. How will it maximize its profit? Very simple. It will go ahead and differentiate profit function with respect to Q. So 10 minus 2Q minus 2 equal to 0, 8 minus 2q equal to 0, 8 equal to 2q, q equal to 4. So you will tell me, look, ma'am, it will go ahead and it will produce 4 units. And I can also show this through, ma'am, the MR equal to MC condition. We have read this multiple times. It will use the condition MR is equal to MC और वहां से quantity आ जाएगा 4 units. Then I can find the price also. This will be 10 minus 4, that means 6. So it will be selling these 4 units at a price of 6 rupees each, right? ठीक है. But this is called as the unregulated equilibrium of the firm. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? Unregulated equilibrium. Why is this called unregulated? इसको unregulated इसलिए बोला जाता है because as of now the government has not imposed any regulation on the firm. इस चीज पे अभी हमने कोई भी रेगुलेशन नहीं लगाया कि अच्छा अगर आप पॉल्यूशन कर रहे हो तो आउटपुट को कम करो, इतना मत प्रोड्यूस करो, इतना ही प्रोड्यूस करो, राइट? सो एनी सच थिंग इज नॉट डन. We are not going ahead and putting any regulation, any restriction on the firm. We are saying, ठीक है, जितना मन में आए अभी प्रोड्यूस करो, wherever your profit is maximized, produce that much. So this becomes the unregulated equilibrium of the firm. अच्छा, एक और चीज, I want to define a new term today, and that term is called marginal profit. क्या बोलते हैं बेटा उस टर्म को? Marginal profit. Right, beta. Beta, what is marginal profit? Marginal profit is how your profits will change as your output changes. Marginal का मतलब ही है डिफरेंशिएट करना पड़ेगा. So marginal means additional profit earned when additional output is produced. तो जब फर्म एक्स्ट्रा आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस करती है, कितना एक्स्ट्रा प्रॉफिट अर्न करती है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज मार्जिनल प्रॉफिट. अच्छा बेटा, अब वापस आओ इस इक्वेशन पे. सो द प्रॉफिट ऑफ द फर्म वाज दिस. यही था प्रॉफिट ऑफ द फर्म. इफ यू जस्ट लुक बैक, द प्रॉफिट ऑफ द फर्म वाज दिस. But what will be marginal profit of the firm? How profit changes as output changes. 10 minus 2q minus 2, 8 minus 2q. तो जब फर्म एक्स्ट्रा आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस करेगा, उसका प्रॉफिट इतने अमाउंट से बढ़ेगा. Every time the firm will increase its output, it will change its output, its profit will change by this amount. Clear हुई बात? तो लिख लो. Please write this down. Make a note of it. Whenever the firm will change its output, profit will change by 8 minus 2q units. इसलिए हमने इसको बोल दिया मार्जिनल प्रॉफिट ऑफ द फर्म. बेटा, अब एक क्वेश्चन इंपॉर्टेंट अराइज होता है, हाउ टू प्लॉट मार्जिनल प्रॉफिट ऑफ द फर्म. बहुत सिंपल है. सो मार्जिनल प्रॉफिट ऑफ द फर्म इज गिवन एज 8 minus 2q ना. तो हम क्या करेंगे, आई विल से दैट टेक q हियर एंड मार्जिनल प्रॉफिट हियर. नाउ बेटा ध्यान से प्लॉटिंग सीखो. इफ आई विल पुट q एज 0, अगर मैं यहां पर 0 प्लग इन करती हूं, I will get marginal profit as 8, right? And if I will put marginal profit as 0, अगर मैं यहां 0 plug in करूं, 0 is equal to 8 minus 2q. 2q is equal to 8. Q is equal to 4. So I will get Q as 4. I will get Q as 4. So beta, what we can do now? We can just plot this. So I will have, when Q is 0, marginal profit is 8. When marginal profit is 0, Q is 4. So this can be the plotting of my marginal profit curve. Please use a scale to draw it, right? So this can be the plotting of the marginal profit curve. Clear हुई बात बेटा एकदम? Okay. Now, let us now go ahead and introduce the concept of externality. अभी तक जो हमने किया, अभी तक हमने फर्म के मार्जिनल प्रॉफिट को समझा और ये जानने की कोशिश की कि फर्म अगर फर्म एक अनरेगुलेटेड मार्केट में है, if there is no externality, nothing, then how much output the firm will produce. और हमने देखा कि फर्म का ऑप्टिमल आउटपुट कितना आ रहा था बच्चे? 4. Just note down this. The optimal output of the firm was coming at 4 unit. हाँ, तो इस 4 के आगे I will just go ahead and write Q star, right? Okay. Now let's talk about externality. Now what I am doing is, I am assuming that suppose there is a pollution of alpha per unit of output produced. तो हम कह रहे हैं कि for every 1 unit of output produced, जब भी 1 unit output produce होता है, firm does alpha units of pollution. So if the firm is going ahead and producing 4 units of output, right beta? How much pollution will it generate? It will generate 4 into alpha units of pollution. 4 into alpha units of pollution. This is what is written here. Okay. Now, we need to go ahead and, beta, ye pura ka pura, this is incorrectly done in the book. Please don't refer to book. पूरा डिफरेंशिएशन बुक में गलत है. Don't take from book. It is absolutely incorrect. Please only do it from my notes. Okay. Now let us go ahead and let us assume that there is some emission cost, right? And we are saying that the emission cost is 3E square per unit of pollution. मेरी बात ध्यान से सुनो. हाँ, देखो, when you go ahead and you create pollution, जैसे हम वापस इस एग्जाम्पल पे आते हैं, the upstream downstream example that we were doing, this one, huh? This upstream firm, this is causing some pollution into the river. When the upstream firm causes pollution in the river, जब उसने सारा waste river में डाला, and it is causing the downstream firm to get less good quality fishes. कुछ fishes की death हो रही है. The fishes are no more of nutritious quality. It means it is causing some cost, extra cost to the downstream firm, which is not being accounted. So for every unit of pollution created, say it creates alpha units of pollution, for every unit of pollution created, it is causing some cost to this firm. And this cost, it can be called as the external cost. Because ये cost market में कहीं पे दिख ही नहीं रही है. This cost is basically not being shown in the market. इस cost के बारे में सिर्फ इस firm को पता है. It's not being shown through the prices. It's not getting reflected through the price of this firm, right? So this becomes an external cost it is the cost associated with externality which is not getting reflected in the market. बात समझ में आई पूरी की पूरी? So this is what I have written here, that suppose now let's assume that for per unit of pollution there is some emission cost. इसको हम एक external cost की तरह मानेंगे, and this external cost that is being caused, that is 3e square. ये external cost cause कर रहे हैं 3e square. Now try to understand, right? See beta, we need to understand that our emission can be defined, जो हम ये E की बात कर रहे हैं, इस E को हम define कर सकते हैं alpha into Q, right? E reflects the emission. कितना हमने pollution emit किया और कितना pollution हमने cause किया था? Alpha, which was the per unit pollution, into Q, which was the number of units produced. तो एक एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे सपोज आई टेल यू कि जब हम एक यूनिट आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस करते हैं तो हम हाफ यूनिट ऑफ पॉल्यूशन कॉज कर रहे हैं, तो हमारा अल्फा हो गया हाफ. अल्फा बता रहा है कि एक यूनिट प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए कितना पॉल्यूशन एमिट हो रहा है. अब हम बोल रहे हैं अल्फा इंटू क्यू, माने अगर सपोज मैं बोल दूं आपको दैट आई एम प्रोड्यूसिंग 10 यूनिट्स ऑफ आउटपुट, so to produce those 10 units of output, per unit I am causing half unit of pollution, so I will cause 5 units of pollution. So in total what is going to be my emission? कितना pollution मैंने emit किया? These 5 units. So my emission is nothing but it is alpha into Q. Emission is nothing but